All right, let's jump right into this explainer and unpack exactly how to transform a draining, thrown-together workspace into a highly productive home office. I mean, we've all been there, right? Trying to crank out deep work from the kitchen island while literally dodging cereal bowls. It's just not sustainable.
So you really have to ask yourself, are you working from home or are you just living at work? If you're dealing with backaches from sitting on the couch all day and you're catching yourself checking emails at midnight, well, you've likely fallen into the remote work trap. It happens when the lines blur, and suddenly your living room feels like a corporate boardroom that you can never, ever leave.
Now, you might be wondering why we're making such a big deal out of this. Well, it comes down to one number, 13%. Stanford University data shows a straight-up 13% productivity increase when you have a dedicated, well-designed workspace compared to a makeshift setup. Your physical environment directly dictates your output, and honestly, your mental clarity.
To untangle all this chaos, we're going to build your setup using a hierarchy of needs. We'll start by perfecting your physical space, then securing your digital workspace, mastering your work-life boundaries, and finally, maintaining focus and health.
Okay, let's start right at the bottom of the pyramid, perfecting your physical space and building that rock-solid foundation.
Look, there is a stark, absolute contrast between a setup that quietly drains your energy and one that actually supports real work. The bad setup, that's you hunched over a laptop on the sofa, swimming in a tangled spaghetti of cables. But the good setup gives you a dedicated space, a monitor right at eye level, and super clean cable management. It is literally the difference between that awful 3 p.m. brain fog and sustained, clear focus. Let's talk ergonomics, because an ergonomic chair is, without a doubt, the single most important purchase you are going to make. Poor seating leads to physical strain that silently kills your productivity. Think about it. You spend upwards of 1,500 hours a year in that chair. You absolutely need adjustable lumbar support. Your seat height has to keep your elbows at a nice, comfortable 90-degree angle, and the top third of your monitor should be right at eye level, about an arm's length away.
You've also got to think about layered lighting, ideally positioned perpendicular to a window. Working in dim conditions or under those harsh, headache-inducing overhead lights causes serious eye fatigue. You want to mix ambient lighting for overall brightness with task lighting to cut down on screen glare. And hey, make sure you have front-facing lights so you don't look like a shadowy figure from an anonymous true crime documentary on your video calls.
Now, a great setup does not require a massive upfront investment. Seriously, a solid starter setup that dramatically improves your posture and organization will run you between $500 and $800. Later on, when you're ready to upgrade, a mid-range setup, which might feature things like an electric standing desk and premium seating, sits between $1,500 and $2,500. The point is, you can build up to this gradually. You don't have to buy the whole shebang today. Moving right along to section 2, securing your digital workspace. Looking way beyond just the hardware. Because let's be real, a beautiful desk means absolutely nothing if your video calls keep freezing. Reliable internet speed is just the baseline. You need a minimum of 50 megabytes per second, but you must also prioritize network stability. Grab a mesh Wi-Fi system or just use a good old-fashioned wired Ethernet connection. And please, this is crucial. You need to change your router's default password to protect against hackers. So many people overlook this, and it's basically leaving the front door of your home network wide open. Using a virtual private network or VPN is an absolute necessity. Whenever you're accessing sensitive company data from home, a VPN encrypts your internet traffic. It ensures that your organization's network stays completely locked down and safe from outside attackers. No exceptions here. You should also be implementing two-factor authentication, along with a password manager like LastPass or Keeper. That way, a single compromised password doesn't expose your whole digital life. 2FA simply validates your identity by sending a quick code to your phone. It's a tiny extra step, but it drastically reduces the chances of an unauthorized intrusion. And please, we have to stop reusing the exact same password across 20 different sites.
All right, a physical office is totally useless without a structured software stack to prevent context switching, missed deadlines, and just general mental overload. You need clearly defined tools for different tasks. We're talking Zoom or Slack for communication, Trello or Asana for task management, and Google Drive or Dropbox for secure file storage. And if you find yourself doom scrolling or wandering online, utilize focus tools like website blockers to force yourself to stay in the zone.
Up next is section 3, mastering work-life boundaries and fiercely protecting your personal time. So how do we actually pull this off? First, establish regular hours and stick to them.
Second, get dressed. Just putting on clothes you wouldn't normally sleep in sends a powerful psychological signal to your brain that the workday has officially begun. It also makes it so much easier to feel off the clock when you change back into your comfy clothes later. Third, set clear ground rules with your household members about when you are in focus mode and simply cannot be disturbed.
In a perfect world, you'd want totally separate physical devices for work and personal life. But if you can't swing that, using different browser profiles is a fantastic, zero-budget way to stop personal notifications from distracting you. It stops your personal life from bleeding into your work hours, and maybe even more importantly, it stops a random work email from stressing you out while you're eating dinner.
You've absolutely got to establish a daily shutdown ritual to create a physical and mental hard stop at the end of the day. Clear off your desk surfaces. Jot down your to-do list for tomorrow so you aren't carrying all that mental baggage around all evening. Completely shut down your computer. Don't just put it to sleep, and turn off those notifications. And finally, physically walk away from your desk. Leave the space.
Finally, let's wrap up with Section 4, maintaining focus and health so you can sustain high performance over the long haul. Here is a brilliant, completely free micro takeaway to instantly reduce digital eye strain during those marathon screen sessions, the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. It sounds incredibly simple, but it is highly effective at preventing those brutal late afternoon tension headaches. You should also be mapping your time management strategies directly to your personal energy levels, grouping similar tasks together to keep your momentum going. If you get distracted easily, give the Pomodoro technique a shot. That's 25 minutes of intense work followed by a 5-minute break. But if you have really complex, demanding tasks, you need to block out 2 to 4 hours of protected deep work. Figure out when your energy is highest, which is usually in the morning for most folks, and tackle your absolute hardest tasks right then. You know, loneliness and a lack of physical movement are massive threats to your output. So stepping outside and socializing, those are actual productivity strategies. Stand for 5 to 10 minutes every single hour. Take your lunch break entirely away from your desk. Make sure you're planning social interactions. Honestly, even just chatting with a barista for 2 minutes helps reset your brain. And remember, when you're unwell, take a sick day. Rest is a mandatory part of long-term productivity. Even without spending a single dime today, you can immediately implement 3 quick wins to clear your mental space and fix your posture. Right after this explainer ends, take just 5 minutes to declutter your desk. Then, adjust your chair and monitor height to hit those perfect ergonomic angles we talked about. And finally, if you can, slide your desk closer to some natural light. My advice? Don't try to fix everything at once. Pick just one thing we covered today, make the adjustment, and watch how it transforms your workflow. Because ultimately, the question isn't just about how you arrange your desk. It's about how much of your actual life you want to get back. So what's your first move going to be?